Welcome to The Explainer. Guys, we are looking at a week of absolute pure chaos in world football. From a devastating World Cup exit that shattered a nation, all the way to the ruthless power plays we're seeing in the summer transfer market.
Let's just rip the Band-Aid right off and start with the cold, hard numbers that literally shattered a nation. England 1, Argentina 2. When that final whistle blew, it didn't just end a tournament run, it basically lit a powder keg under the entire English football establishment.
And immediately, top football journalists like Tim Vickery and Henry Winter, they completely bypassed the players and went straight for the manager, Thomas Tuchel. When you have voices this respected asking if this is the most disastrous coaching performance they've ever seen, you know you're witnessing history for all the wrong reasons. The tactical setup left the squad totally exposed in transition, and the press wasted zero time zeroing in on those systemic failures.
So, let's look at England's World Cup heartbreak.
Because the core narrative emerging from the pitch was absolutely brutal. Lionel Messi didn't just beat England, he actively punished them for what was seen as blatant disrespect. Post-match analysis pretty much universally honed in on this exact angle. It's a classic story of hubris meeting sheer greatness, where England's lack of tactical reverence and that insanely aggressive highline essentially cost them everything against a master of the game.
Which brings us to Tuchel hangs players out.
Look at how fast this transitioned from a tough loss at the final whistle to an explosive post-match interview from Tuchel, right into full-blown media outrage. It happened in record time. Usually a manager's first instinct right after a loss is to protect the squad, right? Instead, Tuchel hits the press room, deflects the blame, and instantly triggers this unfiltered, just deafening media storm. I mean, Tuchel's comments left pundits disgusted. Over on TalkSport, Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara were literally shouting that he hung the players out to dry. By throwing his squad under the bus like that after such a devastating exit, Tuchel completely alienated the punditry class and honestly severed whatever trust he had left with the fan base. ESPN UK echoed that exact same sentiment. Tuchel is responsible. The consensus is completely undeniable here. You simply cannot pass the buck to the players when the fundamentally flawed tactical setup is what invited Argentina's pressure in the first place. Relying on a passive defensive block against a team explicitly built to exploit space, that's a managerial choice. And the media is collectively refusing to let him forget it.
Let's see how the pundits and legends react.
You know the situation is hitting critical mass when international heavyweights, we're talking Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thierry Henry, step in to publicly dissect your failure. These icons know the absolute pressure cooker of elite football inside and out, and their involvement proves this 2-1 loss isn't just an English problem anymore. It has become a massive global spectacle. They know exactly how elite attackers exploit tactical naivety, and let me tell you, their breakdown of the match pulled absolutely no punches.
And domestically, English legends Wayne Rooney and Micah Richards were just visibly furious. Having worn the shirt and suffered tournament heartbreak themselves, they know exactly what real leadership looks like in those dark moments. And they definitely didn't see it from Tuchel. Their frustration adds this deep, really emotional layer to the intense tactical criticism the manager is already facing.
Sky Sports News reporter Kaveh Soliqual hit the nail on the head, noting that Tuchel has a lot of questions to answer. The pressure is mounting exponentially right now, and his job security is a massive, massive question mark. We've moved way past just analyzing a single match. We are firmly in the territory of asking whether a manager can even survive this level of widespread scrutiny, especially when it looks like he's totally lost the backing of the dressing room.
Meanwhile, we have transfers and massive injuries.
Because while the international stage is practically burning down, Fabrizio Romano just dropped a bombshell. A massive 5-month injury alert that is guaranteed to scramble everyone's summer transfer strategies. This is the ultimate domino effect, guys. When a major player goes down for half a season right in the middle of a transfer window, clubs are plunged into pure desperation mode. It inflates prices, it wrecks careful planning, and it forces rivals to react immediately.
Which brings us to Manchester United. Fans are already asking, are United actively cooking their next moves? Because suddenly, names like Tielemans, Santos, and Conte are dominating the conversation. In a landscape totally fraught with injuries and panic, United is maneuvering to snap up talent. And this isn't just idle chatter, it's a very calculated response to shifting market dynamics. Securing squad depth is literally the only way to survive the grueling domestic and European campaigns they have coming up.
Just look at the high-stakes chess match happening right now. We've got dynamic targets like Michael Olise and Eduardo Camavinga in play, while massively influential power brokers like Real Madrid's Florentino Perez and Juan Polina are pulling the strings. It's like a giant puzzle of negotiations. One single move by a giant like Perez can trigger a chain reaction across every major club in Europe. The transfer market doesn't wait for anyone to recover from an international hangover. When the elite open their checkbooks, the entire continent has to react or risk being left in the dust.
So, in a week completely defined by catastrophic heartbreak on the pitch and ruthless market moves off it, we have to ask, can Tuchel survive this fallout, or are super clubs like Manchester United already planning to capitalize on the chaos? Tuchel has alienated his squad and invited the wrath of absolute legends, all while super clubs are circling the chaos like sharks. The beautiful game is in absolute turmoil right now. So the real question is, when the dust finally settles on all of this, will Tuchel even have a job, or will this frantic market chaos completely rewrite the hierarchy of European football?